When you think of extreme sports, you probably don't think of senior citizens doing it.
We're talking about 91 feet now. Okay.
But at 67, Carl Starling is pushing the limit.
Let's go, we're off like a prom dress.
Underwater. He's hard to miss between his white hair and all that noise.
I never told me the person who makes the most noises underwater than Carl does.
I'm trying to warn you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to warn the fish about you.
Blood tried your hair this morning?
Carl and members of the South Florida Free Diving Club invited us to see everyday people doing extreme things.
I think everybody does what they do for different reasons, but I mean, I've been doing it since I was 5 years old.
And most of us learn how to go past that point where your brain's telling you to breathe and you get that pain. We could actually succumb that.
With training, freedivers master the art of spending minutes, not seconds, diving 20 to even 100 feet below the surface.
2 seconds. Tell me when.
On just one breath of air. The biggest draw for most is to hunt fish. You could compare it to being inside the seafood tank at the grocery store. Only these guys shoot and sometimes wrestle fish almost as big as them.
When you go down, you feel like you're on your own. You're part of the environment, and you're doing it with your own capacity, you know, with your own lung capacity.
One of the biggest differences between scuba divers and free divers is bottom time. I can stay down here for a couple hours a day safely. Holding your breath, though, as free divers do, allows them to dive all day long.
And that may be the biggest danger the sport faces, themselves.
If you mess up, you know, it could cost somebody their life.
Freedivers actually shut down the sensation you have to breathe. They can literally run out of oxygen, as Manny Doble did a few years ago.
I was drowning. I was literally drowning, and my friend pulled me out of the water.
Doble experienced what is called a shallow water blackout. He was actually sucking water in, knew it, but his oxygen-deprived brain no longer controlled his body.
So I'm one of the lucky ones. Most people, you never see them again, because in the water you can't yell for help. Yeah. So you go down and they never see you and they never find you again.
Brought back from the brink of death, he remarkably is back in the water.
You know, race car drivers crash and they get back in the car, and my wife crashes and she still drives my kids around.
By now you're probably wondering, why won't these guys just strap on scuba tanks?
Yeah, anyone can do that.
We call that cheating.
Yeah, you can call it, but I call it, it's just a lot of work.
As freedivers Raul Bosel and Felix Leander explained, it all has to do with the bubbles from those scuba tanks.
You're not making any noise. You really become much more part of the environment, and I think everything around you becomes much more accepting.
This is what accepting looks like. Raul and Felix are our freediving team, capturing rare up-close moments with some of the most dangerous creatures on Earth.
We would have to almost trick them into getting shots, to getting the photo, and by doing that, you turn your back to them.
Turning your back on an 11-foot tiger shark apparently encourages the shark to, quote, sneak up on you.
You just watch each other's backs, and again, you know, you communicate, you understand each other, and you know, we got our 6.
Yeah.
Married man?
Yes, I am, and I have a baby.
What's the wife think about all this?
She knew what she was getting into.
These two aspiring artists hope through their extreme sport they can change public opinion about the sport and the ocean's top predator, one breath at a time.
I think, you know, we sort of have a bigger purpose now, and just sharing the beauty of it.
And the beauty of it is at any age, even 67, you can still be considered an extreme sportsman.
I've been spearfishing longer than they are old.
With the advent of YouTube and the economics of diving without a bunch of gear, the sport of freediving is becoming increasingly popular. The number of deaths from shallow water blackout are also increasing, many of them occurring right here in Florida. Join us next week as we look at the disturbing numbers and what's being done to save lives. Off the coast of Miami, David Sutta, CBS 4 News.